Everyone has been looking forward to the Camon 40 premiere since its launch. Well, maybe not everyone, but if you're here, you were definitely looking forward to it. Well, it's finally here and I've had it for quite a while, so let's talk about it. The Camon 40 Premier is one device I've been looking to get my hands on since I first experienced it at Mobile World Congress. Now, Tecno's latest Camon device is a successor to the 30 Premier, a device I found quite interesting and good value. Now, there have been debates on whether the Camon 40 Premier is a worthy upgrade, and it's easy to understand why, seeing that there were a few adjustments to the build quality and memory configuration. Hopefully, by the end of this video, your questions will be answered. Since I have its predecessor here with me, I'll be comparing both as the review progresses. But to give you a teaser, this is how they compare in benchmark scores. The Dimensity A350 is looking pretty solid. But let's not get too forward, let's start with the pricing and availability. The Camon 40 Premier is a $450 mid-range device. In Naira, it retails just under 700k. That is interesting pricing that places it a bit above the likes of the Galaxy A56 and Redmi's Note 14 Pro Plus. It does have a much better processor than both phones though, so that's understandable. It is currently available in Nigeria. Right now it's exclusive to slot stores, but I think you can probably pick it up from Revens Nigeria. They're on IG. I'm not sure if it is officially available in other regions, but probably soon. The Camon 40 Premier comes in similar packaging as the rest of the series, containing all of the essential accessories, no earphones this time. We get a lovely looking protective case that complements the design such that, looking at it, someone else can barely tell there is a case on it. The case has a fine texture and fits the device nicely. I guess that's to complement for the leather finish that was previously here. In my initial hands-on video, I mentioned that Tecno embraced some continuity for the first time. The design looks like a refined version of the last generation. The same camera bump, they just move it to the center. The lenses have also been switched around if you pay attention to the details. The indicator light is still here and it works the same for recording with the cameras, also for some notifications. The back is now fully flat with no elevation, so it's an overall slimmer and lighter device. The frame is no longer flat, it has slight curves, so it feels more comfortable on the hands. The volume and power buttons have been repositioned, both now on the right frame to give way for the orange accented flash snap button on the left. IR blaster is still present, Dolby Atmos tuned stereo speakers also present. You can also notice the antenna strips are no longer there, which brings us to the fact that the frame is now plastic. Feels like a downgrade on build quality there, but I won't completely say so. We now have IP68 and IP69 rating, which makes it technically a more durable device. That plus the Gorilla Glass 7.9 protection on the display. Now there are very few devices right now with this level of ingress protection, so bonus points for build quality. The back also seems to be made of plastic. It's matte textured and it feels nice to the touch. Though it's of high quality, I'm sure most would have preferred the eco leather finish on its predecessor or maybe glass. I mean, you guys decide, which do you prefer? It's feeling more like an upgrade to the Camon 30 Pro 5G now that I think about it. It seems like they are toning down the Premier a bit. And for color options right now, there's just two, Emerald Lake Green, which I have here, and Galaxy Black. Who knows, we might see a special edition in the future. And one thing I think Tecno still lacks when compared to the competition is eSIM support. While the Camon 40 Premier accepts dual nano SIM cards, not adding that feels like a missed opportunity. Most devices at this price point already offer eSIM. Now let's move on to the display specifications. We still see that high-res 1.5K display, and it got brighter up to 1600 nits peak. It is now 6.67 inches and the bezels are pretty slim. It is vibrant and great for watching videos, maybe you want to Netflix and chill, also solid for gaming and media in whatever form you can enjoy on a smartphone. The optical fingerprint scanner is responsive and gets the job done as expected, no complaints there. On the refresh rate, we get an improved 144Hz, which is seemingly an upgrade, but it looks like we don't get LTPO here. Nothing in the spec sheet points to that, and checking the refresh rate performance of the device, it doesn't seem to go below 60Hz. The 30 Premier goes as low as 10. I know GSM Arena specification says it has LTPO, but even on Tecno's specs page, I did not find that, and obviously from my tests, it does not have LTPO. Or maybe it's a software limitation since what I have is pre-release software. Moving on. In the refresh rate settings, we get three options, either adaptive 60Hz or forced 144Hz. Now onto the software experience. When you power up the Camon 40 Premier for the first time, you are greeted with Tecno's refreshed software. That is iOS 15. It is mostly the same feature packs and AI focused software we have already seen with the Camon 40 Pro, but here it's a lot smoother. The animations are evidently better than what you see on the lower Tecno devices running the same software. Tecno has committed to 3 major OS upgrades, which is one more than they previously offered. Hopefully the updates will be timely because the 30 Premier is still on Android 14, and I find that especially surprising because the 30 Pro 5G already got Android 15 long ago. So Tecno, please do something for the 30 Premier users. Back to the Camon 40 Premier. So much has been improved here that makes the overall software experience just better. From the look and feel of the UI to the improved zero screen, which now functions more like an AI hub, to the much better app management on the home screen. The app drawer now comes categorized just like we see with HyperOS. We also get dual system, which creates a separate setup allowing you to unlock different systems whenever you unlock with a different password or fingerprint, like second space. While I still feel iOS needs to be trimmed down so it's lighter, I really find no lapses with the software. It is packed with so much features, be it customization, multitasking, even AI, which brings us to Tecno's AI. The Tecno Camon 40 Premier has the exact same AI features we've seen on the Camon 40 Pro and takes it some steps further with added features like LR Briefing and AI Visual Enhancer. LR Briefing intelligently summarizes your notifications and other important information daily in the zero screen. This is easily the most packed mid-range device when it comes to AI features. There's so much to unpack here, from the DeepSeek integrated assistant to circle to search, call summary, call translation, smart touch which allows you copy text from apps and images by just tapping and holding on the screen with 2 fingers. You will find all of its AI features listed in a dedicated section in the settings app. In the gallery app, you will also find the AI Studio, which contains tools like AI Sharpness to enhance your photos, Object Eraser, which needs no introduction, and then AI Extender, which you can use to expand the dimensions of an image without losing quality. In summary, Tecno's Camon 40 Premier is not lacking when it comes to AI features. There are features even most flagship devices can boast of. But AI aside, how does Tecno's current best Camon device perform on day-to-day use? It comes in only one memory configuration to the best of my knowledge, 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, which is not expandable. Now that is a bummer considering that we got 512 gig on the 30 Premier. But I guess 256 gigs of storage is sufficient for most, or at least the average consumer. The processor here is the MediaTek Dimensity H350. It's a significantly improved processor when compared to the 8200 we got on the predecessor, and when compared to the competition like the Galaxy A56 or Redmi's Note 14 Pro Plus, this easily outshines them. Now I would have mentioned the likes of the Poco X7 Pro or F6, but as far as phones available officially in this region, the Camon 40 Premier sports the best performing processor. That is older flagships not considered, correct me if I'm wrong. Its distant cousin, the Infinix Note 50 Pro Plus, sports the same processor. Now it is so well optimized that it can handle heavy tasks without getting abnormally hot, at least in my experience. Gaming here is impressive as it has no problems handling high graphics and frame rates. It plays Call of Duty Mobile up to 90 FPS, that is ultra frame rate when the graphics is set to low. You can play at very high graphics and max frame rates. I've had long gaming sessions playing PUBG, CODM and Warzone Mobile, and I was impressed the device temperature never got hot enough to be of concern. I was even more impressed at the fact that I could play PUBG Mobile at 120 FPS with the graphics set to smooth. And no jokes, it actually stays consistently between 116 to 119 FPS. Now if you favor graphics, you can play at HDR graphics settings and ultra frame rates. For Warzone Mobile, it is not yet optimized for graphics, so the max available visual setting is low, but it handles gameplay very well with the frame rates going anywhere from 30 to 90 FPS if set to uncapped. It ran hotter with Warzone Mobile during my gaming sessions, but nothing unexpected or abnormal. In summary, gaming is not going to be a problem for the Tecno Camon 40 Premier. Easily one of the best for its price point when it comes to high graphics gaming. Now the battery capacity here is 5100 mAh. I have no complaints about battery life so far. It performs as you'd expect, and for an average user, getting a full day of use is not a problem. For charging, it supports 70 watts and it can be charged to 100% in about 45 minutes if fully drained. In the camera department, Tecno has maintained the same specifications with 50 megapixels all round, but the main sensor is now a Sony LYT701. The Camon 40 Premier can take clear photos of subjects in fast motion thanks to the flash snap feature. Double tapping on the orange button on the left launches the camera in flash snap mode. It works really well. The Camon 40 Premier has a 50 megapixel periscope lens with 3x optical zoom, and it can surprisingly go up to 100x in digital zoom. It does decent considering this is a mid-range phone. Once beyond 30x though, it's anyone's guess how it performs. The Camon 40 Premier takes some nice photos overall from all three cameras. I feel the telephoto camera could use some improvement to detail, sharpness and vibrance. Its low light performance is impressive. Compared to its predecessor, its images are brighter, but I prefer the detail and subject separation of the 30 Premier. I should point out that my device is a review unit, so it has pre-release software. The Camon 40 Premier can record videos up to 4K 60 frames per second. It has optical image stabilization, and Tecno takes it further, allowing ultra steady mode even at 4K 60 FPS. This is how it compares to the Camon 30 Premier on video. For a summary on how these two compares, it's slimmer, it got better IP rating, has a much better processor, also much better software with all of its AI features. The 40 Premier also runs cooler. It's a better device overall, and the only area it's lacking compared to its predecessor is the reduced storage, plastic frame and plastic back, so it kind of feels less premium. But I believe you'll pick the better overall performance and IP rating over leather and aluminum frame. Now compared to say the Galaxy A56 or Redmi's Note 14 Pro Plus, it gets a better performing processor, telephoto camera, better AI integration and best in class IP rating. But it does not have the level of software support as the A56, nor the display protection as tough. It also lacks eSIM support. With that said, Tecno's Camon 40 Premier feels more like a successor or an upgrade to the 30 Pro 5G than the Premier, seeing that it lost the aluminum frame and comes with lesser storage. It feels like the Premier was getting too close to flagship, so Tecno decided to tone it down a bit. I'm glad they didn't tone down on the performance. While the Camon 40 Premier is a solid device and I have no doubt it will satisfy the use case of anyone that goes for it, here are a few areas I think Tecno can improve for the next generation. It needs to be said again, at this price point eSIM should not be missing. The cameras could also use some optimization. It has capable hardware that puts it ahead of its competition. Also, while not a deal breaker for most people, please bring back 512 gigs of storage. That is all from me on the Tecno Camon 40 Premier. You can check out my review on Samsung's A56 or Redmi's Note 14 Pro Plus. Peace out.